when you got hurt, like you've explained it to me before, but like it was kind of because like you're kind of absent-minded too.
Oh yeah,
and
I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah,
I was just literally going by muscle memory of like what I was doing because I'm working in a factory. Like it's just like pick this up, put it here, pick this up, put it here, like do this, do that, and like so I was just rote memorization, like just running on autopilot to like collect a paycheck, and then like I had so the way the stuff worked was like stuff came down this like conveyor belt, and I like went to grab it and I missed it. And so my hand kind of went through this like magical like empty machine table, which basically was just like a rectangle with like a bunch of ribs going through it, and then like belts with like little fingers on it to like carry it down. So I like missed the piece of metal that I was supposed to grab, and so my hand just naturally fell through, and it got caught on one of the drives for a pulley, and like one of the only times on night shift that I actually wore the safety equipment like you're supposed to wear, the glove got like kind of stuck because it was coated with like silicone, so you could pick up like oily metal without it slipping, and they were cut resistant. So like it had gotten kind of like the fingertip of like my index finger got pinched like in here, like against my thumb, and it just like, because I couldn't, there's no way like a physical human can overcome the torque of an electric motor. It just spun and got stuck and like eventually pulled in, and something had to give, which me versus like metal and electricity, it was me, and that's what ended up giving way and coming off. So like that kind of like, you know, just kind of progressed and went, and that's what ended up happening, which it wasn't like poor design of the machine because it was a custom built machine for a specific process that the factory was doing. So it wasn't like, oh, you know, Intel, like the company, or HP, like had this process or like machine that they built that like didn't work. It was
could you have possibly sued?
I could have sued the company or the person operating the machine, but at that point I would have just been taking literally like food off of the table from like Justin or like you or whatever. So there was literally no point. Like somebody, I would have been suing somebody that made $30,000 to $40,000 a year, and that's it.
All right.
So to me, and talking with, because I had a lawyer for that representation, just to make sure that the company didn't do anything fishy, because that was like the recommendation, which it's good that I had. Not that they tried anything at all. Like, not at all. The company is just like, here's your money. But like, just in case they did. But my lawyer like explained it to me like, yeah, you could sue like the company you worked for because of the machine, because it was custom built, which you wouldn't really get much because you'd just be like taking bread off the table. Or you could sue the machine operator who ran the machine, but it would literally just be taking money away from someone that made $32,000 to $40,000 a year. And I was like, no, I'm not interested in that, because like I'm not going to gain anything. Like, even if I did, I might get $5,000 to $10,000 or whatever, but that would be taking money away from their kids. So like, I wasn't interested in that, and I was like, no, whatever.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I'll just go through like the whole.
The good
like,
part on you, because I feel like a lot of people would have done that.
Sure, there's definitely more people.
Well, like I wouldn't have gained anything. I would have like, so I got more money essentially from like basically just going through workers' comp, which ended up being basically 10 grand. After like all the other stuff was said and done, I ended up making 10 grand for like losing essentially a thumb and 50% usage of your hand, because your thumb is considered 50% usage of your hand, and then like actual like, so if we're talking like meat of your hand, like if your hand is 100%, I lost like 50% of that.
Yeah.
Right. Like muscle fiber and stuff. So essentially I lost a whole hand, but it ended up equaling out to 13 grand basically. Is what the end all like settlement ended up being.
And for anyone who's listening, Ben does not have his right thumb. His right thumb is actually his left toe.
Right toe.
His right toe, his right big toe. So he got that replaced. And yeah, that's what the story that you heard and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, that That's that. That was We've had a lot of.
That was quite the rant.
Yeah,
that went off on a different tangent than I thought it was going to go, for sure.
Changing gears again. I've told this story to a few people, but I don't know it as well as you do. Mm-hmm. But you always told me, but not always. You told me this huge, amazing story. So every Halloween,
the Halloween dreams.
Every Halloween, you had the same
reoccurring dream. So within the last 2 weeks, he just explained this to me about you, and I was just like,
"So
are you serious?"
Yeah, I have a dream. I have a dream every Halloween. It started, I don't know, maybe when I was 6 or 7. I don't know, when I was really little. But every single Halloween I have a dream, and it's right before I wake up. It's always to be continued, and then the next Halloween it picks up from where it left off, and it flashbacks to what happened the last dream. It was almost like an anime or something.
It was a TV show.
Where it's a TV show where it's this is what happened. So it's it's literally it starts it's me and when it was me and my sister were out trick or treating on Halloween, and then there's an evil Superman that's out trying to get us, and we're just trying to dodge Superman or whatever, running away. Mm-hmm. So then I wake up to be continued. Next year the evil Superman's still attacking us, but then there's these aliens that are also attacking, but they're the Superman's on one side and the aliens are on the another side, and they're kind of attacking each other, but they're both also trying to get us. We're still trying to escape. After that, the aliens get us, and we go up into the alien ship, and we have to break out of the alien ship. Then after that, we break out of the alien ship, but then Superman's after us, and he brings Dark Batman, Dark Spider-Man, the whole crew is out trying to get us. They capture us, then the aliens attack them, and it just keeps going on and on and on. Every single year, just something that gets added on to the story.
When did it end?
Probably maybe 3-4 years ago.
So it started when you were 6 and ended when you were 19?
18, 19.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. But it's,
that is the most ridiculous saga ever.
Part of it is that I semi-lucid dream every single night. So when I fall asleep, the first thing that happens is I kind of have a TV guide, TV channel guide, where it's but it's not. It's okay, what do I want to dream about? Do I want to dream about sports, school, hang out with friends? Who do I want to be in this dream? That sounds so cool
to be able to choose. Yeah. I'm just picturing scrolling with the.
It's literally it's a channel screen where it's just I just kind of get to choose where it's okay, sports, chasing tornadoes.
Sports, chasing tornadoes.
Yeah, it's
those are my two options.
It's sports, chasing tornadoes, fishing, all this other stuff. But then so it's kind of I get to choose that. Where it's I don't necessarily I don't completely lucid dreams where I get to choose. I know what every single thing that's going on. And
so with your Halloween dream, do you see a Halloween saga episode something?
For Halloween saga,
this is the TV guide.
No. For Halloween saga, I wouldn't get that TV guide. I would just kind of go right into that. It would kind of just be continuing from this. It'll go back and it'll come through. I've had recurring dreams with. Also, other times, but it's not the Halloween dream. It was just special because it's always on Halloween.
Yeah.
But I've had really big dreams before, where right before I wake up, it's to be continued. I remember.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah. So I'll have dreams where
I had even dreamed. Period.
Yeah, I'll have dreams where it's where it's a big adventure. So I have this whole dreamscape almost where I can tell you pretty much most of my dreams are kind of taking place. Okay. Yeah, most of my dreams take place, in Walkersville, because that's where I live, my entire life. So you have the main things of Walkersville, elementary school, middle school, and high school. Those are kind of the main focal points. Most of my dreams now kind of take place either in.
I would seriously love to be a certified therapist and just listen to this and be okay, Justin, this is what your dreams are, and this is what they mean, and this is what you need to do in your life. World is coming. Because You were like, yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
like,
most of my dreams...
You have a gift.
Most of my dreams now take place either middle school or high school. I still get the occasional elementary school dream. Usually if I get a dream that takes place in elementary school, it's usually either like doing like something related to like a gym class thing or like playing like GBAA sports or something.
That's nuts. Where I'm just like in the lunch line and I like can't remember my lunch number and I'm like freaking out, like typing in a bunch of them, and they're like, "Oh, honey, it's okay. Like, what's your name?" And they just like look it up and like there's like 40 people behind me, and I'm just like freaking out.
So middle school, I have different sections. So you have the main, you have the actual school, and that'll be kind of like an actual like school dream, like living like everyday life at school. Then if it goes into the gym, then it's kind of like focusing more on like a basketball or dodgeball thing because it's kind of what happened. Mm-hmm. If it gets outside the school, that's when things can turn to like I'll have superpowers or something. Like I can be like super fast, or I can like turn invisible or something. And then you know how like you know how our middle school was, where like you had like the row of trees like on the left side in the back of the middle school, like at the track, and then like the left side back you had like a row of trees. Yeah. If I go past the row of trees, that's Jurassic Park.
So honestly,
Jurassic Park is right there.
What?
So if I want to go hunt dinosaurs, I just walk past that row of trees, and then everyone will get machine guns, and there's like Velociraptors,
so
Tyrannosaurus
your
Rex.
dreamscape is like extremely specific.
Your dreamscape is like a freaking like mini map in a game.
Pretty much,
basically. And it's like like
and
the trees and like the gym.
It's like
I
can tell you what's going to happen.
Nuts to think about.
I can tell you what's going to happen.
I can't dream that way.
I can tell you what's going to happen based off where I am in a dream. Like if something pops up, it's like, okay, this is what I'm dreaming about. So it's like if I'm dreaming about the parking lot of high school, I'm going to have like a Fast and Furious dream where like I'm freaking like drifting, racing, everything.
Do you ever like have a dream like if you see a certain person, you're like, oh, this is going to be about this?
So this is kind of where I have keys in my dreams. So if I'm dreaming and then all of a sudden I see I have a little fish. I have a little fish tank in my room, so I have a little fish. Mm. If my fish start coming out of the fish tank and start flying around everywhere, that happens.
You sound like either a crazy stoner or like you're super into like psychedelics. So is the way your dreams sound.
But pretty much if that happens, that's kind of like a sign I should wake up now because my dream's about to get like really scary and like
with your
weird.
Fish.
So pretty much what happens if my fish start
it just sounds like you take psychedelics. Yeah, like that's like all of these like crazy like specific like dreams and stuff is like you're actually awake but you're just tripping.
Yeah. It's like if my fish start flying, sleep, so like all of a sudden like that's where like I'll get like the scary dreams where like there'll be like ghosts involved, like demons, like stuff.
How often can you educate yourself to wake up after you realize?
Pretty much every single time. Like I know it by now. That's a key. There's two main keys.
This is
two main keys.
Crazy.
Flying fish, or if I go. So there's also like sometimes where like I'll go into a house and it'll be like great and awesome, but if I go into the basement of a house, then I know that
wake up.
I need to wake up because if I go into the basement. The basement's always dark. There's always a door at the end of the basement that I always want to walk into. And then if I go into that door,
dude, I swear this literally sounds like psychedelic. Like,
yeah, but what happens if I go into that door? It kind of like goes into a torture chamber. Door closes behind me. I get strapped to like a bed, and then like
this is.
Yeah, so it's just by now I've learned flying fish, or if like I'm in a mansion,
specific things.
I wake up.
So if you have another dream like you said, flying fish or basements.
Flying fish are my that's my safe word. Flying fish.
So good dreams.
Good dreams, yeah. So they're kind of like plus all over. So it's kind of like also with you. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, but I have different places. So it's just like you have. One of the main dreams I really like is my storm chasing dreams because I kind of like always been like into that. Mm-hmm. So, but I also noticed that there's two different like it's usually involved like chasing a tornado. That's kind of like the main thing.
Is this after the fish come out of the tank?
No. This is a separate thing. Fish.
So this is a fish tornado.
Yeah, but then you have two different tornado dreams. One where you're chasing the tornado. The other where the tornado's chasing you. So.
Not a third where you are the tornado.
No. I never am the tornado.
Man, what a lame dream.
Yeah, but like it's like the chasing tornadoes are great. It's fun. You're just chasing tornadoes going over. The more tornadoes you do is kind of scary because like you're just dreaming. You're dreaming. You're having a good time. All of a sudden, sky turns black and there's this big tornado coming out. And you're like, we gotta get into the storm shelter. But then it's like, we don't have a storm shelter, so what do? So then we're like trying to like build this storm shelter before the tornado comes.
Seriously.
Dude.
If we could just like plug a USB cable into your into your brainstem and like upload this to like YouTube, we would be millionaires.
Jesse got so pissed about one of my dreams because there's dreams I have like I literally can remember like verbatim, and like when I get one of those dreams, I would always like text her those dreams because like they're really entertaining. So there's this one dream. It was kind of like a Get Out dream, but like Jessie was obviously the white chick. Get Out.
Oh, what a shock!
Yeah, and I'm just so I'm like I white chick, but like it was like so it was me and like some black chick that like we were friends, but we weren't dating, but like we were like there, and then but we both had like superpowers or whatever, and we were just hanging out one night, and we were just hanging out on like some like abandoned bridge, and then all of a sudden like the bridge collapsed and I lose my memory. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember like this black chick that I've been friends with forever. But then Jessie kind of comes in and she's like, "Oh no, we've been friends. So I've been hanging out with her." So then I have like love. I call her like love of my life, black chick. That's what I referred to her as.
You told me about this.
Yeah. So I love my black chick where she's trying to like save me from Jessie because she knows that like it's Get Out. So Jessie's trying to fucking Get Out. Mm-hmm. That's what Jessie's trying to do. But like, I don't know that, and I'm like kind of like on Jessie's side, and like I don't recognize love of my black chick. And then, but then we meet up at a party. We're all at a party, and she's like, "Yo, do you remember this keyword?" And then all of a sudden, like it kind of all hits me, and I'm like, "Oh crap! I do know you from the past, but I don't actually remember anything." And that's another thing. I wake up there to be continued. The very next night, it continues from there, and it goes with me as trying to like Jessie like finally like she's like okay she like locks up love of my life black chick. And then I go to try to free love my black chick, free her. But then we both kind of get our superpowers back. But then like Jessie also has superpowers. He's trying to like lock me in, and it's like it was just like this crazy. I've had like a few of those. What else have I had? I've had.
Can we have a mini series where you just like explain your dreams to us? Because honestly, like even the dreams that I like somewhat remember like are never this vivid.
Yeah, no,
like,
I have very vivid.
So
like, I also have again. So then I've told you like elementary school. I told you middle school. I haven't told you high school yet. So high school, you have the typical high school dreams. You have baseball dreams. But you also have if I go into like where the football field is. Mm-hmm. That the football field in my dreamscape doesn't actually exist. There's no football field there. Instead, there is like an ancient temple. So if I go into that ancient temple, then it's kind of like an Indiana Jones type thing where it's like I have to take some relic and get back. Where it kind of becomes like Temple Run. There's things chasing me. Yeah. But then like it's also like then there's like sometimes it'll just be me trying to get this and come out. Other times it's like me, a couple friends, and like a huge adventure thing. Sometimes it like turns into like a whole like spy thing, where it's like we're like going through the jungle, trying to come out with it. Like we're escaping. We have like jet skis and like race, like kind of getting around. There's like Apache helicopters like attacking us and everything.
Can we just like tap into your brain? This is like.
Honestly, the only dreams I remember are not as epic at all.
Like, I have a very vivid dreamscape where it's like literally I can tell you based off of where I am because like pretty much I'll say 90 to 95% of my dreams are taking place elementary school, middle school, high school.
My dreams like specifically I remember one is like one dream. I remember one dream specifically where like the real world actually got involved was I was like when I was in elementary school, maybe middle. I was a secret agent, infiltrating some kind of secret base, and my alarm clock went off. And the alarm clock went off, so like in the dream, the alarm of the factory I was in, infiltrating, went off. So like all the doors started shutting down, and the windows I had to get out of there immediately. Yeah. And I remember like running for the door and diving as it was like really close to shutting down, and then all of a sudden I got woken up because Quentin shook me awake.
Okay.
Never found out what happened.
Jeez.
But I never have any to be continued. If
always to be
anything,
continued.
I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, crap, I like that dream, and I try to go back to sleep.
No,
but that never works.
The thing also about my to be continued dreams, if I have my alarm set for 8 o'clock, to be continued, wake up 7:59.
You're weird.
Every single time.
Like, any dream I sort of remember, like, I've kind of described them to you, Avery, like, when I wake up, and I'm like, oh, I had this dream that we had, like, this specific cereal or whatever. Like, anytime I've tried to tell you a story where it was funny or, like, explain something, like, where, like, details were important, and then you're like, what are you talking about? Like, that's how I remember my dreams. Like, that's the extent of, like, how I figure it out.
Okay, I have a question. So, like, this is going to actually ask Jesse, because we just were talking about how we dream and everything. Because, like, so Jesse has, like, a ton of nightmares. Like, that's, like, kind of, like, her thing. She always she had, like, so many nightmares. And I'm like, I pretty much never have nightmares. And when I do have nightmares, I know when they're going to come, so I know when to wake up to avoid them. Because I have the keys. Like, of the flying fish and then, you know, basement. So it's like, I get one of those two things.
Flying fish. I feel like if we made a horror movie for Justin, it would be like, flying fish is like, you know, the thing.
It's like, I find myself to just wake up, cause, so it's like, I know.
If we made a horror movie, Justin would be like the old crazy man that no one believes. When he's like,
guys, did you see the flying fish?
He's warning you from the get-go, but no one believes him.
Yeah. But, so, one thing I found, like, so, with Jessie, she died all the time in her dreams.
Jeez.
I never died in my dreams, and I honestly think that if I die in a dream, I'll die in real life. Like, that's how I feel. Because if I even get close to dying, I always wake up. Where it's like before that could possibly happen.
Right.
I mean, I've gotten stabbed or shot in a dream, and like I woke up sweating, and like that part of my body is like really.
That's never happened to me. Like, none of that's ever happened to me.
So I have a pretty specific question. Like, since you're so specific with like the way your dreamscape is set up and stuff, like, and maybe you don't know, but like, do you dream in color?
Yeah.
Like, so when you dream, you like see the actual colors and stuff? Okay. What about you, Avery? I think we've had this conversation, like, sidebar and stuff.
Maybe I don't think we have, like, but no, I'm pretty sure I dream in color. Like, I don't remember my dreams too often, but when I do, I remember.
Like, they're in color.
You know what?
One stuff you remember.
You know what? One of the most interesting dream complications I've ever had. So, two of my roommates in college, one from Nigeria, another one from Mexico. So they're, bilingual. So I was asking them, like, when you dream, what language do you dream in?
That's an interesting question to ask too.
And I was just like, I was thinking about that. I'm just like, because it's just like, I was dreaming like, I only speak English. So everything that happens for me is like, is in English. So I was like, what about you? And he's like, and Luisa's like, yeah, no, like, Luisa's the person from Mexico. My other roommate, Camsy's from the one from Nigeria. So I'm talking to Luis, and he's like, yeah, no, for most of like my dreams, it's like probably like 99% in Spanish, and if it's in English, it's really weird, and I wake up because like it's weird,
right?
And then with Camsy, he's like, it's probably more like a 50-50 split between like English and Igbo, where I'm just like, that's interesting because it's just like, I don't have that because I really only speak English. I know a little bit of Spanish, but like,
how they say like the people you see in your dreams are all people you've seen because your brain can't subconsciously create new faces. Right. Have you ever seen someone in your dreams while you're lucid dreaming and then see them in real life later on where you didn't realize you knew them?
Yeah, I've had that happen before.
I've had that happen not specifically with like faces, but like situations. Where I'm like,
it's like deja vu. It's like you definitely dreamed that, and then it happens like a couple days later.
Or like where I dream like it's like, so in the dream area or dreamscape, it's like I know this is deja vu, like through the lucid dreaming, and then when like it happens in real life, I'm like, I know this is deja vu, but I know it's deja vu because it's deja vu. Yeah, and I like know what I picked like in my dream, but then I try to like deviate just to see what the difference is, but I end up saying the same thing, and I already know the outcome, and that's happened with you and I, at least you and Avery and I, and like a couple of times. Like, I don't know any specifics, but like,
we've talked
certain
about that
circumstances where I'm like, because I'm like, whoa, this is crazy deja vu. Like, I already know what's happening.
Usually
before what's going to happen.
Usually when
but
I
it's
have
just
deja vu,
like the way your brain works, like it runs through all of those scenarios, like subconsciously in your dreams, and you don't really remember or recognize, because you can't possibly remember all of those like 10-second dreams that happen. But like you remember the ones that might take like 5 minutes, but it feels like 5 hours.
Usually when I have a deja vu, I actually usually call it out. So if I'm having deja vu, say I'm having it right now, but I'll stop everyone's conversation. I'm like, guys, I'm having deja vu right now.
Yeah, I try to do that too, like to a degree.
And sometimes when I call that out and tell everyone,
that is deja vu.
That's deja vu.
Yeah, right. That's when I start to get like super freaked out.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's really
the
creepy
fact that because you just like compulsively do it.
You know, I've had this
realize,
one where it's literally like it's like you're really just thinking, and you're like, okay, I know what this person's gonna say before they even say it, and you're just like waiting, you're like, is this actually gonna happen? And it happens, you're like, what the hell just happened? Like
this is on my mind because I've been watching like the show recently, but like they say like deja vu, like it's stuff that happens in dreams that happen in real life. But another theory is that deja vu is something that happened in like a parallel universe that we have already lived.
That's the other possibility. It's either the dream world or a parallel universe that your brain is crossing over between. You normally don't see the cross lines between, and it's kind of up for interpretation whether which one you believe as to what it is. But yeah, it's definitely interesting.
But I love having deja vu. Like when it does happen, sometimes I call it out. Like I mentioned,
it's creepy,
and
but
other
it's really cool at the same
it
time.
Freaks me out.
It's
like,
so creepy.
It's cool, like in a like that's kind of neat, but like it freaks me out more than then I'm like,
no, like when I have it, like I'll love it, and I might call it out, like I mentioned, or other times I might just stay silent about it and keep it to myself and play it out like it did in my deja vu, or like you said, I might try to deviate from it, which it never works.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's like you realize it starts happening, and then it's just like, you can't. It's already down that path.
By the time you realize that you can't deviate from it, you're just like stuck. Like because like the realization of that it's deja vu, that you've like thought about it or whatever, or experienced it in another parallel universe or whatever. You like by the time you make that realization, that realization is part of that timeline that you're already in. So you can't even deviate, even if you want. You're just like, I'm going to say no, even though I know that I'm supposed to say yes, but the words that come out are yes, regardless of whether you know or not. And then just like continues down that path. It's happened to me, like that specific, like of a thing. Like, I mean,
I've also had things where it's like you have deja vu, where it's like you try to deviate, but then like you get this, it leads to the same result, even if you try, like you said something different, but it leads to whatever the same end was, no matter like how you tried to deviate from it.
Right.
It's crazy, man.
Your dreams are just freaky, but like I would love to get more like. If you would like, when you wake up and you're like, oh, I had this dream, if you'd like sketch down like whatever you thought about.
Like, if you have a dream,
so, like just in general, like 10-minute conversations would be nuts.
Like I'm gonna make a separate channel in Discord just for Justin's dreams, and that'll be amazing to just talk about that in more detail.
Right, because it sounds like you have a like for whatever reason, maybe you're just more skilled in it. Because I've tried to develop my like lucid dreaming like ability and stuff. Like there's a experiment where like Ben Franklin slept with a spoon like in his hand off the edge of the bed, and whenever he like fell asleep to the point where he stopped lucid dreaming, he would drop the spoon like just subconsciously because he like basically passed out, and the spoon hitting the floor would wake him up. And then he'd write down in a little notebook on his nightstand, like whatever he was dreaming about. Yeah. Like whether it was like a sentence or like, a 10-page paper. Like he would write it down. But like I just don't tend to run into that. Like I never, like if I remember a dream, it might be like maybe a few minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes. It's never like super in depth. And I just tend to like wake up like, I never know when I fall asleep because I'm just like, oh, I woke up and my eyes were closed and like I yawned and I stretched.
Right.
Like that's how I know I woke up, but like I never officially know I was asleep.
trying to slowly stop this conversation just because
it's 3:00.
It's 3:00 in the morning, and we've been talking overall for an hour and 40 minutes. So that's a whole 2 episodes.
Mandy went to bed like an hour ago.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry to cut that short.
You'll figure it out in it. So we'll be good.
We'll figure it out. This is going to be cut into 2 parts in some kind of way, but holy crap. Yeah, that was a interesting conversation. I feel like I wasn't even drunk for any of it.
Yeah,
I feel like there was a fairly sober conversation we had. Like, definitely, like the last half of it.
Definitely, for sure. Like maybe the beginning,
like the Justin Dream thing was like definitely where we kind of strayed into like the sober territory, which is fine. I mean, whatever. Now we got like 2 episodes out.
I'm just saying we need to sit down. Like, definitely, we talk about the dream stuff more.
You should give him, like, a Discord, like, channel,
that's
whatever
what
you call it, to, like, just jot down notes of, like, this is what my dream was tonight.
Like you said, you used to tell Jesse.
Because it might be,
it was literally to the point where it's like Jesse didn't believe me. That, like, I had a dream channel. So she would be like, hey, Justin, dream about this. And I'm like, all right, bet. I'll dream about this tonight. And it'll
so, like, maybe we should do that. Like, make a dream, like, channel.
I'm on it right now.
Yeah.
And then, like, all of us can just, like, whenever we remember, which it sounds like you'll be the more frequent member.
I don't remember
shit. But, like, anytime we remember any sort of, like, little weird thing, like, about, if we remember anything about a dream, just jot it down as a note.
Yeah.
And, like, because that'll spur us to kind of remember, like, a little bit more of it. And if you remember, like, because it sounds like you're pretty good with, like,
I can
lucid dreaming
for, like,
aspect.
Most of my dreams, I probably can remember, like
basically all
around
you can
70% of my dreams.
Yeah.
Like, probably.
And, like, that might help, you know, Avery and I or whoever else, like, has access to it to, like,
I'm giving everyone access to it. I'll
jot down and remember or, like, think about, like, what they were dreaming about. And, like, that may turn into, like, a cool conversation. Yeah. Because, like, sometimes I have weird ones where, like, I specifically remember in, like, I don't know, junior or senior year of high school, like, I was dating some girl and we were, like, on vacation and I must have wanted coffee or something because it was, like, close to waking up time. And, like, the people turned into, like, coffee mugs, but, like, there were still regular people, and they, like, the coffee mugs, like, fell through the ceiling and the floor and, like, through the people's, like, heads and, like, landed on the table and, like, coffee splashed out or something.
Interesting.
That could just be the caffeine addiction, but, like, it was this weird, like, super, like, almost outside your body, like, experience, because I was, like, watching it, like, my own human body form from, like, a third person perspective, where these, like, random coffee mugs were, like, raining, not raining, but like coming down sort of slowly from the ceiling and, like, and, like, splashed on the counter or whatever. And it was like, oh, this is, like, you know, Karen or whoever it was is, like, that their head basically turned into the coffee mug.
Yeah, never something like that. Real fast. I'm going to end this real fast so we can do the outro. So, gosh, yeah. It's been a long episode, so I'm probably going to use this for the outro for both the episodes. But, yeah, that's going to do it for this one, everyone. Thanks for listening. I've been Avery.
I'm Ben.
I'm Justin.
And Mandy's asleep on the couch. But thanks for listening, everyone. And you can find us on all the major podcast sites, Spotify, Google Play Music, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever else you listen on. And hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. And we'll talk to you guys later.